Cool. What's going on, everybody? It's me, Mark. I hope you guys had time to rest and enjoyed your MomoCon 2022 experience. We have a lot to talk about. I'm joined by my guest, Miss Dana. Oh my God, we have so much to just talk about. I don't even know where to begin, but just go ahead and just let everybody know where they can find you and what was your role at MomoCon, because you did something different this year.
Yes, I did. You can find me depending on what you want to look for me under. I am on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and under Danique, DANIQUE EVENTS. That's Danique Events. That's where you'll see me on the photography and event planning side. But then you can also find me under Danique Cosplay, also on IG, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. But yes, this year was a little different for me from MomoCon. Years past, I have been staffed on the photography side, covering the photography for the con. But this year, I was graciously asked, what I consider being the director of media relations, and I graciously accepted that in late January of this year, and went right into handling that with my co-director Renee, who is just the firestorm of MomoCon. if you know Renee, you know her as an essential part of MomoCon.
Yes, she photobombed me, or no, video bombed me, like my first 20 minutes there while I was waiting in line. I was like, oh my God, who's that red flash I just saw? And I'm literally going through and editing that video right before we started this record. And I was like, oh my God, that is Renee. That is her. Like, okay. So yeah, she was everywhere. I think I got a little video of her talking with Channel 2 News. So I'm just trying to figure out how to, I have a ton of content from the con. Just a ton of content. And I just...
Which I'm so glad you did, because I know, we kind of talked about this briefly, but you were not considering to apply for press.
Right.
And it happened to be when you did the interview with me prior. I was like, hey, go ahead and apply. And you're like, nah, my platform is, too small and everything. And it's like, no, that's not what MomoCon looks at. They look at not your size, but the kind of content you provide, because they want different perspectives of the con, because if everybody's covering the same thing, people are not going to see everything that is MomoCon. So when you did apply, and then I got the message from you on Messenger saying, I got it. I was like, there it is.
Yes, I was, trust me, I've been riding this high for almost 2 months now. I went in, I planned to do so much and realized I was really doing a lot of it by myself. I probably only got maybe 25% of what I set out to do done, but the stuff I got, the people who I met, the panels I was able to go to and experience, being able to do stuff with Cosplay Your Way and interview Blerd over and Dean's List. I got to meet Phil Lamar and Stephen Downs. I enjoyed myself so much. I don't even know where to begin to start talking about the experience.
I will definitely tell you, if you are covering MomoCon, especially for next year, have yourself a team. For those that know me from the previous interview that Mark did with me, I also have my own podcast, which is Moana Nui. Moana, like the movie, and the NUI podcast, which is on all social media platforms and streaming platforms. Because I am doing work, I have learned this since I started doing this, and we've been covering cons. I'm like, all right, I have to lean in on others, because there's no way I'm going to cover all the aspects that we're looking for our show. And This year, because of MomoCon, I was working it. I leaned in to two guest co-hosts that we had for the show. We had Alan Z, who is a musical artist, actor, and voice actor. He was gracious enough to be part of as one of our guests co-hosts and covering the con for us. And then we also had the Opie Princess. She also covered for us. So it was really great to have that help right there. So I would definitely say, get yourself a team, especially for something MomoCon or larger. Get you at least 3 people in tow that be like, all right, I need you with your phone. I need you, cover this portion, and we got you a badge and this, so that way you can cover everything that's on your checklist that you want to do. So you're not killing yourself trying to cover everything.
Boy, did I almost did kill myself between the photo shoots. Between just interviewing just random cosplayers. I just literally stopped whoever I saw. I was like, no, I need to talk to you, specifically you. Man, you're gonna be so happy with the footage I got and the people who I talked to. I don't even know, like, I'm sitting here, I've been like for the last whole 24 hours, I'm like, what do I put out first? Do I put this out first? Do I do the Phil Lamar? No, that needs to be last. I got all this footage of like beautiful. Well, first, before I say that, I'm just gonna get into my top 3 favorite highlights of the con. My first highlight, which at first I was like, oh, there's a lot of diversity. No, there was something specific there that I didn't know until I came home and saw the footage. There was a lot of first-time Black women cosplayers in groups of just women, not just with their boyfriends or their no friends, not just in geek shirts, but in full-fledged, this is my first cosplay and I'm killing it. Like the hair all done however they want it, and it's beautiful. The cosplay is beautiful regardless if they made it or they bought it or however. It was all beautiful and everybody was just so like welcoming. It was like, yes, please come talk to me. I want to talk about my experience. So I have like a lot of that. And that's one of the beautiful things about MomoCon. Like, I will give an example, a couple, pre-pandemic, a couple years before the pandemic, I would sit there and try to explain to so many Black cosplayers and Black geeks that I've met at cons. It's like, hey, you should come to MomoCon. They're like, that doesn't sound like it's a con that will really welcome us in a way. But then I had like a couple cosplayers and a couple friends from outside of Atlanta came. I was like, just come, trust me. And they literally told me, like, one of my friends, and he was just like, there are so many Black cosplayers and so many geeks here. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, when you would tell me about this for years, I was like, it sounds like we will probably be a little specks of pepper. And then they were like, well, when they saw it, and then of course, I don't know if someone did it this year because of course I wasn't on photography, but every year they always did a Black cosplayers photo shoot. And I used to I will always cover that for the con. Of course, this year, since I wasn't in that position, I'm like, I don't know if someone coordinated that and did that, but I would love to see it because it was so beautiful. When I covered in 2019, the droves of Black cosplayers, the amazing, like you said, costumes you see, and especially as a number of first timers, because I didn't cosplay for MomoCon 2019, but I stepped in finally into cosplay at Blerdkast 2019. So I understand that energy that so many of these people come in, and especially since it's been almost 3 years since the last MomoCon, you had so many people waiting because the hype was going on, and then 2020 hit. A lot of people had to get their tickets rolled over for 2022, and then they're coming. So it was great. It's funny because people still had con crunch. It's like, no, you had 2 years to prepare. Right. But it was great to see so many people because you probably saw even announced it.
MomoCon had more attendees this year than they had in 2019.
Right, they did. I saw that.
And we were, it was one of those, because we're still in a pandemic, every con was prepared to have lower numbers because people are still worried. You have those who are ready to come back to cons, but then you have a lot of people that are worried that don't want to come yet because of, health reasons, things like that. But then seeing we have a bigger number of people than 2019, that is a telltale about that con.
So many things. Like you said, you can't experience something like this just by yourself. You need a team of people.
Yes.
I definitely had a very Black experience at MomoCon and loved every second of it. I even started a hashtag MomoCon is Black now,
yes.
Which is, it kind of is like every panel I went to, both the attendees and the guests, everybody was Black. Cosplay your way and Blerd.
Yes, we got a presence. We are
right. Only people we were really missing was Black Geeks of Dragon Con representation. We definitely didn't have that, and that was one thing a lot of people who I talked to was like, hey, we really need Sherman here. We really need everybody from Black Geeks of Dragon Con here, and definitely just own Black Geeks of being at this con. So that was.
Well, I honestly thought like the person who always coordinated the photo shoots up through 2019 was always the same person. So I don't know if she just she wasn't going to be there, or she didn't have the bandwidth to keep putting it together. Because I know, like you said, C.S. Sherman and his team has done this for years, and finally, it's gotten to the magnitude it is. But I think that's when we probably need to, as you mentioned, because Cosplay Your Way has such a presence with MomoCon, that may be something for 2023 that we need to work with Cosplay Your Way, say, hey, we want to do a Black Geeks photo shoot. Can you coordinate? Get this on the MomoCon Facebook page, everything for people to know. Hey, the shoot is on Saturday at 2 p.m. Be there.
Right. I think that could work. I think that definitely could work. So what were some of your highlights from the con this year, from your perspective?
Well, oh my gosh, my highlights, of course, like I said, the numbers, because the geeks, especially Black geeks, showed that it may have been almost 3 years, but we are back.
Right.
We are in full force, and they did not come to play.
No,
that cosplay.
Everybody came in their Sunday's best. Like,
thank you.
Swear, like nobody.
You would have thought it was Sunday every single day.
Exactly.
They're about to. One day was Christmas Day, going to church. One day was Easter Day, going to church.
Right.
You were hitting all the big church big days that everybody's in their bed, because it was like nobody was sleeping on cosplays, even on Thursday.
Right.
Usually, if anybody's come to MomoCon in the past, Thursday is usually the slow day for MomoCon. There's not that many people there because it is a Thursday. It's still during the week, and it starts picking up on Friday, and by Friday afternoon, it's in full force because people are off work and everything. But Thursday this year, oh no, they were not to play, and most of the time you don't see that many cosplays. Not this year. Not this year. Thursday, they were wearing cosplays like it was Saturday.
And then especially like that line going to the dealer's room before it opened, like I had to go around the second level 3 times. That's how long the line was.
Yes.
The entirety of the second level just to get into the dealer's room. And then once you're down there, this is getting into my second highlight. Like not only, like you said, the numbers were big, but it was a lot of people there, but it was a lot of space too to walk around and like.
It is actually double the space that MomoCon has been in, and this was supposed to be the space in 2020 we were going to move into, but of course, the pandemic. So this was the first year we were in the B hall, getting double the amount of space we've had in A hall, so it gives us that room for growth. And the beauty of the Georgia World Congress Center is, as MomoCon keeps growing, it can eventually take all 3 sections of the buildings,
right,
and have that whole thing literally be the size of Dragon Con, but in one place.
right. I definitely feel like MomoCon 2022 was a statement year for MomoCon. MomoCon's always been one of the top 3 cons in Atlanta.
Yes.
But it's always been Dragon Con has been the crown jewel. Like if you go to any con in Atlanta, you go to Dragon Con because it has everything. MomoCon is more anime and video game related, but it definitely cemented its place in cons.
Yeah, and I will actually say most people always hear of Dragon Con, but if I have to place my top 4 cons, Dragon Con's not part of it, because really? I think Dragon Con for me is so massive. You got 10 different buildings you have to walk between and basically take stuff downtown, and then it's so crowded that you can't really enjoy it unless you're there to party. People that like to party love Dragon Con.
Well, that's why I love Dragon Con.
But the beauty of like MomoCon, Anime Week in Atlanta, Rangers Stop and Pop, and then I will even throw in Blerdkast into the mix. Those 4 conventions give you that essence of you still got your partying, but you have content that you can truly enjoy.
Right.
You have guests that you can actually see, because the problem with Dragon Con, you have a hard time or spend hours and hours in line to hopefully see a guest and may get turned away because time is up.
I've had that happen to me where I'm literally the overcapacity one and I'm the next person that's supposed to be in the panel.
Exactly. And MomoCon and all those other cons that I mentioned, you still get to have that experience.
Right.
And all those conventions I named is more balanced for, I call it all ages con. Right. Because you can still party, have your 18 and up right after 9-10 p.m., but there's plenty of stuff for you. If you have kids, if you, like you said, if you're getting to gaming, you have that area. You have, of course, extensive vendor areas, but then you have this camaraderie that is at those cons. I don't see typically at something like a Dragon Con. Dragon Con is just like, I gotta tackle everything, but you don't have the camaraderie that people, like I call MomoCon. After 9 p.m., on Saturday, it's typically known as Courtyard Con. Right. It is going during the day. Courtyard Con is going on during the day. You have people outside in the Georgia heat out there just dancing, talking. Oh my gosh, your cosplay coming up to you like that.
Right.
It is a different type of energy, and especially I love that, and having that back with MomoCon being back from the pandemic, it was a great energy. And that's another thing I love about MomoCon, because you did not have that crowded feel you have at Dragon Con. Like Dragon Con, you will be almost touching faces with folks.
Right, exactly.
And with MomoCon, they have been always strategic and smart. It's like, all right, we're gotten to the size that because even when we were in the A Hall, we had capacity. We weren't at capacity because it wasn't crowded like you have at Dragon Con.
Right.
But they were smart enough to say, hey, it's time for us to move over a hall to something that's double the size that we had before. And then now we're in this pandemic. It was even better because we could truly enjoy the con without it being crowded for us. I constantly heard the whole weekend, there's so much space.
Yes.
They did not feel, and even the guests said they were kind of seeing how the con would be, and they were like, it was so spacious. I could actually move around. I didn't feel like I had to, excuse me,
Right.
I mean, you may have to do that to get past a line, but other than that, you're not doing that the whole entire con, trying to speed through and hope you don't knock over somebody's kid in the process of trying to get to a panel.
Right. Well, I will say Sunday towards the end at the dealer's room around 3-4 o'clock got a little crowded. Everybody trying to come in.
Because everybody's trying to get their last minute sale. They know they had that last hour.
Right. Trust me, I was down there. My dad called me up every day. I was at the con. My dad called me up. You gotta find me some Godzilla Ultraman DVDs. I need this. I need that. I'm like, I'm interviewing Phil Lamar. Can you give me a minute? So yeah, that was
Phil Lamar.
Right.
When I have this opportunity.
But yes, I definitely enjoyed myself. It's kind of hard to pick just a third favorite thing because like it was so much to just get into that I didn't even have a chance. Like I'm still sitting here trying to come up with like any real negatives from the con.
I will actually say your third biggest thing is what you just said. MomoCon had content for everyone.
It definitely did.
And guests for everyone.
It definitely did.
They came back from the pandemic. It was literally a whole Phoenix moment. It's like, oh, we were down because of the pandemic. Here we come. We're bringing you Uncle Iroh and Tom.
I was there.
And it's like, we're going to bring you the animated voice of the Hulk and Beast. We're going to bring you Goofy and Max and Mickey. We're going to bring you, Phil Lamar, who's voiced so many characters. But then you also had the voice of Mario. All these amazing. So no matter what things you like, there was at least 5 to 10 guests that you would want to meet. Right. And I love that about them because whether it is for your 2-year-old that is coming to the con for the first time who wants to meet Mickey and everything, or the grown adult that is like, they even had the puppeteer who has been the puppeteer for 30 years for the Muppets and Sesame Street and Fraggle Rock and Dark Crystal. Yeah. And he has been the voice for the last 30 years for Kermit the Frog. He was there. So it's like nostalgia. You had a nostalgia on nostalgia. But also, stuff of today, stuff that has been within the last, 20 years, everything. So that was my other thing, was between panels, between content, between guests. MomoCon is that crown jewel. Like I literally said, like, it's like you got your MomoCon, you got AWA, you got Blerdkast, you got Ranger Stop and Pop. It's like you got 4 of the Infinity stuff.
Right,
and
exactly.
It's like now we just need the 5th one that can give that, and now we have it together. But it was a beautiful time. I will say the only negative, which is not on MomoCon, but the only negative would be is a lot of the places, and even the Georgia World Congress Center, did not have enough food places for the attendees. People were in line for a long period of time, and that's not on MomoCon. That's a facilities thing, and that unfortunately is out of MomoCon's hands. But that would be the only thing I know that was an issue, was people were in line for a long time, whether it was going over to the CNN Center because everything wasn't open over there, right, and even everything wasn't open at the Georgia World Congress Center, which we all know is due to lack of staff. Right. But it was definitely something that the facility is going to have. Both the Georgia World Congress Center and CNN Center have to step that up for next year, because you have, literally over 50,000 attendees, almost 50,000 attendees that was there this year. and then it's going to be more next year.
Right. It's definitely going to be more.
Exactly. So, this is your bread and butter for convention like this. So not having the vendors, places open for you to get that money from attendees that need something to eat.
Right.
You're going to lose out because attendees don't want to go too far because they want to only be able to go real quick, get something to eat, and come back so they can get to the next panel, get to things. Because like you said, there's so many amazing things. If you love wrestling, they had wrestling stars that was there. They had wrestling matches that you could go and watch. They had concerts with Afro Cocoa Puffs and several other artists. Yes. So if a lot of people, it was so funny. It was just like, Afro Cocoa Puffs, why is this that familiar? I was like, you know it from Hinata isn't black. Hinata isn't black. Hinata isn't black. Hinata isn't black. But she's gonna be back today.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it, but on my Sunday vlog video, I'm gonna have her where I meet her for the first time and clearly did not know it was her. And like on camera, she's like, "Oh, I'm Afro Cocoa Puffs." I'm like, "Wait a minute. I'm literally supposed to have a press interview with you, and I was planning to do all this stuff, and you just right here chilling." Leads me to my like third favorite highlight. All the cosplayers, like the big cosplayers in Black culture that I got to meet. Cosplay Your Way Dean's List. I know I keep saying them to a lot because I did a lot.
Because they be coming on point every year. If they're at a con, just expect the panel's going to be on point, and the people they bring in tow is going to be on point.
I'm gonna get to that in a second. But I got to meet Afro Cocoa Puffs and a lot of Six for Kage 6. A lot of people who I've been following.
If y'all don't follow Six for Kage 6, you better follow him because he is not one that do the typical. It has to be canon.
Right.
But he takes it to the next level of his cosplays, and it always leaves people in awe. You always leaves people in awe if you look at his stuff.
I'm going to tell you, he had my number one favorite cosplay I saw the entire con. His Africanized Avatar Aang.
Yes.
That's my
African
favorite.
Avatar Aang.
Yes, I love it. I love it. He took Black culture and geek culture and perfectly blended together. Like when I saw that, I was like, this is what Blerd culture is. I've been racking my brain since I started my channel. What is Blerd culture? Are hood movies Blerd culture? Like what's Blerd culture?
Yes,
that's Blerd culture. You took
between him and then my other favorite that always, whenever I see him, I make sure I get him is NYC Playboy. He came with the whole another level Sub-Zero. He had the Japanese
the mask on. I saw him too. I got a little bit of footage of him,
he had the whole setup in his outfit that it had the lights going.
Right.
He's doing poses. I was like, every time I see him, he's got some cosplay that is like, oh, you want Sub-Zero?
Right.
Let me put some black excellence. And Sub-Zero about to have some little dreads. Sub-Zero is going to have lights on him, and it's going to be a next level. I mean, your stuff is next level when Justin Cook and Alejandro Saab is like, sir.
Yeah.
You didn't have to come this hard. And they were just looking at his stuff, and it was like, they were talking about the mask, everything. I was like, that's how you know you have taken your stuff to another when the guests, and it's not even their characters.
Right.
They stop you because it's like,
you doing something a little too right.
Exactly.
Too right.
It was like, I gotta take a picture of you because we're used to guests when they see people dressed as their characters, they have to stop. But I literally heard from them, like they were stopping so many guys, like even Bill Lamar and several of them were looking for certain characters because either their kids love them or they're a fan of this particular genre, and they're stopping these amazing Black cosplayers that has taken the cosplay to a whole new level.
Right. You just gave me something I wish I had on my list that I knew I couldn't get. But if I could have gotten Phil Lamar in his Static Shock shirt that day we did a press interview in a group photo with a bunch of other Static Shock cosplayers, that would have been so dope. But
hey, that is the thing you may have to do, is like working with Cosplay Your Way, saying, hey, let's set up similar to like how it is for Black Geeks at Dragon Con. Let's have our Black Geeks of MomoCon have your shoots, but you designate, okay, at 2:00 we're gonna do your Avatar: The Last Airbender shoot, and then you're bringing Toph and Uncle Iroh to the shoot to take the pictures with them.
That would be so dope.
But it's one of those, I will say, the thing that Black Geeks of Dragon Con have is they look at the schedule, they figure out, okay, these are the guests. Let's schedule a photo shoot, work with the con and say, hey, we're doing this photo shoot for this, for Black Geeks for this particular genre. Would you, we would love to have Phil Lamar part of our DC photo shoot. They'll let you know, okay, he's only open at this spot, but okay, let's get him. And then it's a total surprise to the attendees, because just like Black Geeks of Dragon Con, they don't tell the attendees that are there, this guest is coming. They just show up and everybody loses their ever-loving mind. And they're about to take a picture with them. So that may be something that needs to be birthed from your brand and Cosplay Your Way working together, having you and a couple of the photographers taking those pictures. The Cosplay Your Way is coordinating and working with the con and saying, hey, let's get these few guests right here to come to the photo shoot during this segment of the shoot, and then people are getting that picture with them like how you would at a Dragon Con, getting your picture with Uncle George, or getting it with the actors of Black Lightning and stuff like that. So it's something that can happen. We just got to start now that MomoCon is done. People keep thinking, oh, I'll start planning the month of. No,
you need to start planning now.
You got to start planning right now.
Con, you start planning the day after that con.
Yes, and that's why you can start working with the cons then to be able to have something like that, because they're already, I will tell you, with being staff, they're already working on 2023. Now, we are just literally a day after MomoCon. So, but that's how it is for the con. They have to literally start after the con working on the next year. Right. And that is something that should be brought up like right now, or at least by within June, saying, hey, Cosplay Your Way, because and we would love to do some photo shoot of the Black cosplayers of MomoCon, and have a couple shoots that we can have some of the guests that is from that genre to be part of it. And then you start working that, so when they're planning the schedules with the guests and talking to their agents, say, hey, can we get, we would like to see if we have permission that we can do this with you, and boom, making that happen. It may not be with all the guests that we know from Dragon Con, but the earlier that MomoCon can know that this is going to happen and they can make that part of their planning process, the more likely you can at least get 3 or 4 of the guests be part of the show.
So if you're listening, Bar Fox, let me get my microphone. If you're listening,
attention, Bar Fox,
you got some work to do. I'm gonna make sure you watch this episode. We got some work to do. All right.
Yeah. You and Blerdkast, teaming up making magic happen for MomoCon 2023.
Right, definitely. I'm gonna take that. I'm definitely gonna take that. I also have one secret highlight that I'm still trying to figure out in my head how to use it. I'm waiting on permission to see if I can use it.
I gotta get the Dr. Evil look.
Oh, you already know because you work some of your black girl magic and make something happen. And I woke up, like I got home, my phone was dead, I charged it, and I was like, I had to do a double take. Like you literally had to tell me, look at the list, look what I did. And I was like, you got Karen Asher on the press schedule. All I did was just like utter it.
Because you mentioned it to me. I was like, let me go ahead and let her know. And I was like, hey, Karen, I had a press outlet that's very interested in interviewing you. She was like, sure, I would love to be interviewed. And I was like, bet. And then that's what I messaged you. Hey. And you like looked at it, you were like, okay. And I'm like, no, did you notice right in the schedule?
Right. I literally, I was like, Phil Lamar, whatever, some Ashley lady, whatever. And then you messaged me again on 3 different platforms just so I got it. And I was like, wait a minute, let me just look at it again. Trust me, I was doing backflips in the front yard.
Because I knew when you mentioned you wanted to interview her, and I was like, let me go ahead and ask her, because it's one of the things, it's one of those we just need to check with, whether they're a guest or whether they're a celebrity that is there as partnership with something else. Of course, she's there with Ranger Stop and Pop. Right. I was like, hey, are you open to it? She was like, yes. Now, of course, she couldn't do the formal press conference with all the outlets, but we got the clearance like, hey, she is open to getting interviewed. So that was what we needed to make sure that anybody who wanted to interview her could stop by her booth and say, hey, hi, I'm with this outlet. Love to talk with you.
Right. And unfortunately, I didn't do that, but because of everything that happened, because there was a lot of people in the press room that day was like, oh, Karen actually had to cancel. But the word on the street was she already just bumped us up to press because she had to cancel. So now we all get to go to Ranger Stop, everyone that was there, and do the press circuit there. Here's the small sad part. I won't be able to be there all 3 days because I already scheduled
just be there for the days you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there Friday and Sunday, but Saturday I agreed to help a friend. He's an indie film director.
Okay.
I agreed to help him shoot his movie. We start location that Saturday, so I'll have to get off of work and go help him. But he's a Power Ranger fan, so we're both gonna be there Friday, definitely.
Yeah, you might have to tell him like, let's cut this short, so we can make sure we're there, because he. For those that was like Ranger Stop Pop, yes, tickets are still available. Go to rangerstopatlanta.com. That's rangerstopatlanta.com. You can get your tickets. Unfortunately, the VIP tickets are sold out. Those are like, what's the VIP tickets? That is a whole another experience for Ranger fans, that you can get these VIP tickets. It's exclusive events that you have private. Like they have a dinner for the VIPs with the guests. So you are sitting there with the guests having dinner. They actually have games. I'll give an example for 2021. They will assign a different guest to each table. That is your celebrity person, and you will partner with them, and they will help you and everything when you're playing these different games. So your celebrity guest could be Jason David Frank. Your celebrity guest could be a Walter E. Jones. Your celebrity guest could be Johnny Young Bosch. But you will get someone, or it could be someone that is not of the Power Ranger fan. It could be, one of the voice actors from one of the other that is part of that. Or you could have Mr. Shredder himself, Francois, could be your celebrity coordinator for your table. So a lot of people, as soon as tickets are open, they jump to get those VIP passes, because what other con will you have one-on-one engagement with the guest like that? And Ranger Stop and Pop has that for anybody that gets the VIP pass. But even as a general attendee, you will see how it's a different animal compared to other cons because they make it like a reunion of not only the celebrities but also the attendees. But then you have the guests that it's like they're having fun, they'll chit chat, they are really engaging with their attendees. And I am so excited that you will be going to cover that. So, for your audience to see and experience Ranger Stop through your eyes by you covering that. And that is June 10th to the 12th, next month at the Sheraton Atlanta downtown. And like I said, RangerStopAtlanta.com to get your ticket.
Yes, we will definitely have a dedicated Ranger Stop episode.
Yes.
Alert, so I can't wait for that. That's going to be so much fun. And I know you're secretly involved with it, so I can't wait to pick your brain a little bit more about it. But
like someone told me today, they were like, "What con are you not involved with, Tate?" I was like, there's a lot of cons I'm not involved with because I still have to work.
Right. But definitely, I always love having you on the show. You always give me so much inspiration. You secretly spoke something into the existence that's probably going to happen just because we sat here and talked about it, and I'm going to do my best to make sure
I am one of those that believe it. You put it into the atmosphere and the universe will take care of it. But when you speak negatively, like, oh, this ain't going to happen, it won't happen. So right. I have always grew up and, from where I am from, we believe whatever you speak, your words is energy that puts it into the universe and makes it come to happen. So yes, I put it out there and I'm going to continue putting stuff out there.
All right, well, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to do it again. I have another secret wish. I secretly wish I can be in the liaison for MomoCon and go there and do all the content, meet all the people, and show as much of the experience as I can for 2023, on top of working with Cosplay Your Way and doing an all-black geek shoot with MomoCon. I'm gonna just make it that.
All right, there it is.
There it is.
Barbox, let us make this happen. Let's set up the meeting with Mark and let that happen. Let's go ahead and start planning that because I already see that is something that can happen. We just got to move on it. So yes, it's just going to get bigger and better for the stuff you're doing in 2023. It is like the movie said, it is only the beginning.
Right, it is. It's only the beginning. Like even this, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt like a pseudo celebrity. I'm running around doing everything I can. I'm being recognized by people who actually know me, not just my college friends and people who support me and who know what I've been doing, but just other people who know me because of Instagram, because of YouTube, because of Facebook. Yeah. And I feel like I'm spamming all these posts, but no one's watching. My numbers are low. Somebody's watching. People are watching.
And like I tell people, don't be focused on the numbers. That was something that I learned. Because I never was focused, me and Moana for our show, we were never focused on the numbers. We just wanted to bring great content to the audience. And because of that, we started being, invited and asked to come to different cons, provide different content and things like that.
Right.
And now it is just elevated and turned to this, and it's great because it's something we started in 2020 and then in 2021 we weren't even even 6 months into it and we're getting invitations and stuff because we made sure we brought quality content. Right. And the stuff that we did cover when we were invited to cons, we made sure we had great interviews, great content that we shared and put out there that it caught the attention. And that is the thing a lot of people, you have to look at. It's most people want to do it to get popular or get those numbers, but numbers are one thing, but if you're not giving people what they're, what at cons, they're seeing you're giving something that no one else is really doing, or then it's harder for things to happen. So don't, when you're doing kind of thing, and same with what you're doing, focus on that content like you've been doing.
Right.
It may seem like, okay, no one's gonna really watch it. No, it may be that you may have 10 views, but those 10 views could have been different cons that was watching your stuff. Right. And then all of a sudden you're getting an invitation. So numbers don't matter. What matters is who's watching you.
Right, exactly. That's kind of how I got the MomoCon press pass. The Winterfest video I did, and I just so happened to just do me and just talk to because I was so nervous to sit there with a camera and like, hey, can I talk to you and put this camera in your face? It feels so weird, and I'm socially awkward too. So let's try to be interesting. So I was just so nervous, but I did it. I had fun doing it, and I was like, nobody's gonna watch this. Let me just move on to the next one. I need to finish my Dragon Con vlogs, obviously, and then you motivated me to do it. And I was like, I do have this one little video from Momo Winterfest. Let me use that as my application, and boom, there we go.
Exactly.
There we go.
So it's all about the content, and
right.
As long as you keep doing that, these things that we're putting out in the atmosphere is going to happen. Just focus on that, and then like how for my show, Moana Nui, we reached out to guest co-hosts to cover MomoCon for us, and we do it with other cons that if I can't be there or Moana can't be there, we get other people that we know you're going to ask great questions, you're going to cover great content for us. We have now been keeping a running list of people that at a con, we need at least make sure we have at least 4 to 5 people at that con covering content. Because anything MomoCon size, you need at least 4 or 5 people with you that is covering stuff. Because like you were saying, you'll have so many great panels, concerts, events. On top of that, you have a very packed schedule of interviews that you only have these slots that you can interview in the press room, which is, if you can get a press room, which Mark can say is a better as far as quality for you to capture versus try to get it on the floor, because the floor is noisy, everything else. Plus,
you're not gonna always have time to mic up somebody when you're
exactly, and they may only have 5 minutes on that floor, and by the time you get everything together, they got to go.
Right.
But doing it in a press room is a different experience. Plus, you have this different energy because you have other great content creators in that room too, from these press outlets, that you're bouncing questions off, and you hear someone ask a question, it's like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that made me think of this. Let me ask you this instead, because I did not have it on my list. If you made me think of that, I'm gonna ask this.
Right, there was a lot of that, and I got to meet not only so many other this is why I say MomoCon is black, because everybody in that room that was for the press circuit the day I was there, everybody was a black content creator, and I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that one.
Yes,
that was.
But then that also show you, because I will tell you, being staff, we invited over 112 outlets to the con.
Right.
But you have a certain of the content that folks that was in there for interviews. A lot of people think, oh, that room is going to be packed, but the strategic thing that MomoCon does, they want people that are covering different aspects of the con. But we invited everybody that we knew that would do interviews with the guests. Yeah, we had a very packed room, but who will cover what the con is about, what the con is on, like on the floor, the panels that are going on, because everybody will be in that press room. So we had only, a few outlets that were in the room doing interviews, but everybody else was on the floors.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I do remember walking around seeing like just a ton of people everywhere. And I even ran into people who I was following who I didn't even know I was following, like Mr. Mason, and ran into him in the room, and like he was doing his thing. And just like I said, got to meet a lot of other people who I'm not in competition with, but I feel like we're doing this together, and we are helping create the Blerd culture and showcasing that you can do this, you can be out there and do that. And it was such a wonderful experience for me. It's something I've never experienced.
It wasn't competition, it was more complimenting each other.
Right, exactly.
Like you said, even with Mr. Mason being there, you saw the energy, how it was with everybody in there. They were all building upon each other. And then after an interview, you will see the different outlets talking with each other and was like, hey, and, you know, seeing how they, you know, can coordinate or collaborate or things like that. It was not one of competition, but as far as one of trying to elevate each other, which I love. And I don't think you will see that at MomoCon.
No, I don't think you will. But like everything I did was an enjoyable experience. And like I said, me covering a con as press, like this is a new experience for me, and just having that access, like, oh, okay, I get to have a list of celebrities every day I can go meet, or I can go talk to these amazing cosplayers and them interview them in their Sunday's best, or I can go make an AMV, or I can just go walk the dealers rooms, or I can go to the Beans List panel. Going back to the panels, so I'm a cosplay photographer. You're a cosplay photographer. We talked about this in the last interview. When I go to a con, the one thing I want to do is go to a panel with other cosplay photographers and other content creators and just kind of learn. So the last panel I went to Sunday, 4 o'clock, was the Cosplay Your Way photography panel.
Yes, with my mentor. If anybody doesn't know him, he's actually my mentor. So a lot of people, when they see my photography and everything, I give much props to him as my mentor, Andrew Michael Phillips.
Yes,
that part of that panel, and his stuff is, you know, next tier godlike.
It is.
Fire!
I was sitting there like, oh my God, I need to level up so much. Like I need to be on this panel, and I can't do it I gotta get better. And not
attending those kind of things will help you level up.
Right, exactly.
And then
I would love to
meet
just
the
see
people
a
you
track
need to
of
meet.
that. Like I want a track of that. I want a track of like, here's the beginning level panels, here's the little intermediate level panels. Like I was asking questions, and it was like, wait a minute, this ain't a beginning level kind of question we was expecting. You coming around out of left field, and like you come from a different perspective. But I like that. Like they were engaging, they were entertaining, they all had answers. The demonstration, they just pulled people out of the crowd and just was taking pictures like, hey, this is how you pose a cosplayer, this is what you do in this situation. I really like that and want to see a lot more of that. Another thing that happened that had nothing to do with MomoCon, but it just happened because when our people get together, we just do awesome.
We do magical stuff. But
my friend Micah from Blerd and Mr. Hilton from Blerdkast, they had their booths next to each other, and they was like right a little bit from the Cosplay Your Way group. They created Blerd Avenue and was partying the whole weekend.
Yes,
and just
Blerdkast, if you've ever been to any con that they are at, they always have a DJ at their booth playing music. So you will be always getting your dance on if you're in the vendor area, because they are having some music playing.
Yes, they will. Matter of fact, they had my good friend Kuma. If you never heard of him, check him out. Bear. He's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. He's a cosplayer. One of my favorite cosplay shoots I've ever done was with him and his girlfriend Momo and the Green and Pink Ranger. Top 10 cosplay shoots of all time. But he was there DJing, doing his thing. Everything was so engaging. Like my feet are still sore from all the walking. Like I know MomoCon can't make the ground move me around, but if we making things speak into existence, make that happen. Make the con move around.
I will tell everybody, MomoCon is your prep. Because all the people like, I want to go to DragCon. I'm like, if you can't handle MomoCon,
you're not going to
handle DragCon.
And I was like, nope, I got to get in shape. If I can't do this at MomoCon, DragCon is going to be a wrap already. So I need to spend the summer working out a little bit.
Exactly.
Some cardio.
Start working on your steps, making sure you get your 10,000 steps a day. That's the thing I was looking at, because I was like, if you can do at least 10,000 steps per day, you're going to be able to do Dragon Con, because that's how many steps you usually get somewhere between 7 to 12,000 steps.
Right.
From working Dragon Con, that's how many steps you usually get for working, being at Dragon Con.
Boy, like I kid you not, I'm sitting there like just in photo shoots, like, because when you take photography, you got to get them angles. All right, let me go down this angle. Oh nope, that's a cramp from all the walking. Give me a second. Hold on.
Hey.
I almost died at the park, fell in the little fountain thing, trying to get some pictures in because I had a leg cramp from just walking. But I was like, nope, I'm water for the rest of the summer.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go walk.
A lot of water, a lot of stretching. Please, I tell a lot of people that's something people keep forgetting. When you get up in the morning, stretch. A lot of people think you just pounce up. When you're on a con weekend, you gotta do your stretches in the morning. If you're one of those, making sure you do a warm shower, that you get that heat on your muscles and stuff. If you got some Bengay, rub that into your legs, even though it may not hurt. You need to do that as part of to keep your muscles at bay as the weekend progresses, because it's going to hurt more on Sunday evening once you get home and that fatigue hits you and you're like, why in the world I can't get up out the bed? Because you wasn't stretching yourself. And I will tell people, if you don't mind doing it, when you go to bed at night, take yourself some ibuprofen, or to go ahead and handle the inflammation of your muscles while you're asleep. So when you wake up, it's going to feel better for you to be able to stretch. Those are tips I can give you as both being a con photographer and having to cover this stuff on a daily basis and staff. Those will help you get through, because a lot of people looking at me, especially like this con year, it was just at MomoCon. I'm heading downstairs at 8 in the morning, but I didn't go to bed until like after midnight.
Right.
But that's the life of a con staff member, especially if you're a director or something. Right. But it was one of those, it's like, all right, go to bed. I will make sure right before I go to bed, I will take my shower then to get that warm water on my muscles, take that ibuprofen, stretch a little bit, got in the bed. And that way when I got up in the morning, it wasn't the, oh my God.
That was my morning every time I woke up. That's why I got this. But I learned a lot of lessons for next year.
Oh, all that? Not next year, next con.
Well,
next time. You apply that towards the next time that you're at.
Yeah, you're right. Next time.
Because when Dragon get here and you're not applying that, Dragon Con gonna kill you.
Oh no, I'm all like, Dragon Con is the thing I prepare for. So what I'm about to say is now I'm gonna apply to MomoCon. I've gone to MomoCon for several years, and I've never like, I'll go get a room, I'll go spend this kind of money, because it's like the first main con of the season. Let me just go down. I live so close. Let me just go down, have fun, while whatever. I know they have the rave. I know the courtyard con thing is a thing. Which, by the way, glad that returned. That was so amazing just seeing that right there again.
As long as attendees are there, courtyard con will always happen, because it's the attendees that make that happen.
I feel a little bad for everybody that was in Hall A attending that gospel convention and walked out and saw all of the things there.
Well, it was so much going in that convention, because we had it was the Sheep Favor conference that was in Hall A, but then there was also a plumbers convention. Later on that weekend, there was also karate convention and everything. So it was a nice little mixture of people walking through like, what's going on?
Right, it was a lot of that. And then not only that, But you had the Carnival Festival happening like around the corner, and their
The
parade.
Atlanta Jazz Festival was also going on that weekend. Right there.
Atlanta was lit this weekend. Atlanta was the
Memorial Day
place
weekend
to
is
be.
always a hot weekend of stuff going on.
Right. I had a blast. MomoCon's now gonna be a con. Make sure I get a hotel room, make sure I got the money set aside to
people don't realize that, like, why would I spend that money? It is for your mental health.
Right. Yes.
And your physical health, because trying to walk to the parking lot, drive at whatever time you try to leave the con, and then you have to drive and be in 30 to an hour traffic trying to get in because you're fighting all those other events that's going on in downtown Atlanta traffic too, and then trying to find parking again that next day. So no, I tell people, like, every con I go to, I learned after my first year of cons, I was like, nope. I will spend the money on a hotel. Right. I will get a couple people that I'm cool with. We're going to share a double bed room, and we're going to make it happen. And it's easier to be able to walk a few steps to go to the con versus trying to wake up a whole 2 hours earlier than you would at a hotel to get ready, drive, fight traffic, find parking, then walk from the parking. And if you don't luck out and get the nearby parking, you're walking at least a couple blocks for the cheap parking to get in.
Oh, okay. So I kind of did a mixture of like taking MARTA and driving down there. There's no such thing as cheap parking. During a holiday weekend in Atlanta, the cheapest I found was $30.
And I will tell anybody who go to any convention, please. The cons always work out discounted prepaid parking for attendees. Take advantage of that, because a lot of people are like, well, I'll get parking when I go. A lot of times you're going to be paying somewhere between $30 to $50 because there's so much going on that weekend per day. Versus, like, I'll give you an example. I went and purchased the red lot from Wednesday through Monday, and it was $110 for those 5 days. That's
actually a really good pro tip. I didn't know that.
And MomoCon has it right on their site where you see, for under travel, you'll see an area for parking. Click there. They have a special discount for the parking decks that is around the Georgia World Congress Center that you get. You'll see it also with Anime Week in Atlanta. All of them, they work out discounted rates. Don't slip on that, because the rates are only good up until 24 hours before the first day you want to go. So if you want to have parking on Wednesday, you got to buy it by Tuesday, or you won't be able to get it. And it's a big money savings, and on top of that, you got a spot at that parking lot. And if you've never been to Georgia World Congress Center, the red lot, if you park there, it's the one lot that comes up. You can take the escalator into the Georgia World Congress Center. So that's a great one to try to get, and especially for basically $20 a day you are paying for that guaranteed. You can't beat that, because like you were saying, you're spending $30-$40 at these other lots, and you weren't at the red lot.
Right. Or having to leave my car at College Park train station unattended for like 10-12 hours, and
hoping nobody's taking parts from your car, like we've been hearing that's been going on in Atlanta.
Right. Oh yeah, I saw that Sunday leaving up there, the place I ended up parking at. That was messed up. But thank you so much for coming on. Before I let you go, I gotta do this. I'm sorry, but I just gotta just thank you and Renee, and just thank all the people that I came across this weekend. So you finna be flattered to death right now. First of all, like, you have been, like I said, such an inspiration, and have been motivating me and keeping me on track. Like, because so many times I'm like, oh, this is pointless. Why am I doing this? Nobody's watching, but you have been watching and been supporting since before even I was doing this, back when I was just doing con photography and just excited to get 1 or 2 good shots. Just thank you for just keeping push me. Thank Renee, who I don't know where I know Renee from, but I know her from.
Oh, you know her. She is
everywhere.
Like I said, she's staff for Dragon Con too. She does the anime track. The director of the anime track at Dragon Con. So if you're ever at any of those panels, that's her track. Like I said, she's over media for MomoCon. So if you attend either one of those cons, you have crossed Renee's path.
Right, she's like, and she's so busy. She's just always a blur. I'm like, I know her, but where? That's where I know her.
That blur, that sonic blur of color you will see. That is 9 out of 10 is Renee.
Right.
The other one, it may be me.
And I just want to thank the both of you so much, just for this experience and just for being so accepting and welcoming and like just pushing me to do this, to just have a podcast and sit down and talk with somebody. I want to thank Bar Fox and Walter Dean from Dean's List for letting me stick my cameras in their face every day. I'm there in their face. Hey, how y'all doing? Smile for the camera, and they're just like, I'm sure they were sick of me. And then I'm in all their panels, and I'm running back and forth down the aisles and just like filming everything. I met Marcus Williams. Thank him so much for being patient with me and letting me film in his panel. Karen Ashley, I met Karen Ashley and finally
got to
talk to her. Right, I'm so excited, and like I'm gonna have a great story from Ranger Stop this year. So please stay tuned. I have so much like content just to push out. I am gonna do like a video a day, and hopefully I can get done with that. But just thank you. I'm so appreciative. I'm so happy and glad. Like I have not stopped smiling since like the day before the con. I've been wearing this blowed over wristband since I got it Thursday. So I'm still living the con experience because I gotta sit here and edit all the pictures and videos.
That's what they call the con high. You're on a con high for at least a week or 2 after the con.
I know it's going to be because Ranger Stop's coming up, so I have
You're on a high to get ready for Ranger Stop, and then you'll be on another high after Ranger Stop.
Right, and then Atlanta Comic Con is coming up, and then Dragon Con. I'm like, I'm going to be high.
I tell people Atlanta be doing it on purpose. They make sure within a 2-week, no more than 3-week time frame, you got another con.
Right.
So you don't go into con depression because your high's gone, and it's like, no, we got another con. Here, go to this one.
Right. No, you hit that con depression when Winterfest come around and it's the last con. And you're like, oh yeah, Christmas, and now I'm broke because I spent all my money at con.
Yeah, and then the next con won't be into February with Shaishu-Con. I think that's how it's pronounced. That's one in February, and then so you got 2 months to wait for the next con after.
And then there's still all the little local cons, like North DeKalb Mall got a science festival con
which is in March. Yeah.
So it's always something. Like Atlanta got something going on, and I think this is why I say Atlanta's the geekiest city. Even though it's like an entertainment hub, but like there's always something geeky going on down here in Atlanta. I'm always downtown spending money on something. If it's not a con, it's the Falcons, or it's something that I really want to see. So I think I live in a really good area for just content, and I'm going to go out and just capture it all. But thank you so much for coming on Blerdkast again. Tell everybody where they can find you on the internet.
Well, of course, as I mentioned before, I am a woman of many things. So of course, on the photography aspect, you're gonna find me as Danique Events on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find me as far as on the cosplay aspect on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm on Twitch and TikTok. And then as far as on the podcast aspect, I have 2 that I work with. One is Moana Nui. We stream live every Thursday for different content that we have going on. We stream live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch and Twitter. And then we do audio content on the audio platforms later on. And then I also work with Miss Karen Ashley on the Blerd official podcast that streams on Tuesdays every week. I am the line producer with that particular show, and you can watch the show on the Bob on YouTube, on Facebook, that they have there. And you get to see Karen Ashley, of course, the Yellow Power Ranger, and also a member of the group Crush. She has her other Crush member, Christy Renee, that is part of the show. And of course, as Mark mentioned, you also have the co-founder of Blerdkast, Hilton George is part of that show, and there is a lot of talk about stuff of Blerd culture, stuff that we watch, hot topic, and the conversations can go all kind of way. A lot of laughs, a lot of discussion, a lot of deep dive, but it's a great show to watch on Tuesday. So Tuesday, the Bob, Thursday, Moana Nui podcast. So that is all the stuff so far I've ever
you do
outside of cards.
You do so much, but I appreciate everything you do. Of course, you know I'm there watching or streaming whenever I can. Like I'll be at work, like because I work at a TV station. I'll be at work, just put it on my phone and just like watch Karen Ashley. I'll watch the Manana new podcast or a plethora of other like Black content creators.
I tell people, if you can't watch, if you just put it on your phone and listen to it, you get that content.
Right, I definitely absorb that content in. So again, thank you so much for being on Blerdkast.
Thanks for having me here.
For everybody else, I am Mark. You can find me on YouTube under Blerdography. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I now have a subreddit with just me in it, and I have no clue how to use Reddit. But if you know how to use Reddit, I have a subreddit r-blerdography. I'll put the link in the description. What else? I have a Patreon. I'm everywhere. If you look under rock, I'm there. I'm trying to be like yours truly. I'm trying to be everywhere you see. And this has been Blerdkast. You can find Blerdkast on Spotify, Anchor, on also YouTube, Audible now, Apple Podcasts, and so many other platforms. Please check me out. I'm everywhere. Thank you so much, and continue to geek out.